Hi, this is Aaron and Linda with Traveling Flamingo, and today we're going to recap all of last week's news, including some information about Holland America and MSC Cruises. All of that coming right up.
So let's start with the news about Holland America. They have extended their pause even longer. So as we know, in July, the CDC announced a no sale order that has now extended to September 30th. And the Cruise Line International Association, CLIA, actually came out and said that their members will not be cruising until the end of October 31st. But Holland America has taken it even farther. They're looking at what's going on globally. They're looking at where their cruise ships primarily sail and have said, actually, we are pausing all cruising until December 15th. So, yep, that is the end of that summer cruise season. That's that fall cruise season. And I guess maybe they're hoping they can get in some of those Christmas, winter break, holiday cruises. But December 15th is the day and up until then. So that's going to affect your sailings to Mexico, the Caribbean, the Panama Canal, the South America, Hawaii, Australia, Asia. It's a lot of their itineraries that it's going to be affecting.
So if this does affect you, your bookings will automatically be canceled. You will receive 125% future cruise credit for the monies that you've paid if you've paid fully. If you have not paid in full, you'll get the future cruise credit. You'll double your deposit that you put down, so they'll give back double your deposit in a future cruise credit, and they'll also be returning your monies that you did pay on that in the future cruise credit. So if you paid 50% of your trip, you'll get that back as well, even if you haven't paid for the full thing. The future cruise credit will be valid for 12 months from the date of issuance, and you can use that to book through December 31st, 2022.
Yeah, I think it's great that they're giving you all the way till December 2022. I know we took the future cruise credit for a couple of our cruises that were supposed to happen this year, and we only have till next summer, or it was like the date of the cruise. So we're trying to see about how do we've lost this cruise season completely. Maybe December, and then it's next summer. So you only really have next summer to try and be getting these cruises in, and depending how they fit, it's just sort of, at least now you've got 2 full summers or 2 full calendar years, I feel, to get in the cruises.
I think that's another important one. The CEO of Norwegian Cruise Line was surprised at just how busy bookings are right now. So a lot of it's coming because of these future cruise credits, because you have to use them. And so you're rebooking, and there's just so many that are being backed up in future cruise credits. There's a limited number of sailings as you push from October to November to December and forward in that 1-year window. So you're winding up with a lot of rebookings going on. So if you don't have a future cruise credit, you're looking for cruising, you might want to book up hoping that you can go even if you can't.
And then that may affect people's decision. I mean, okay, great, you're getting 125% future cruise credit, but at this point, maybe I just want my money back, because who knows what's going to happen. And then you are having to cruise within that time frame that they're giving you. So that then does create a bit of a challenge. So I mean, you'll just have to decide what's going to work best for you. And then we also, it's only on booking of your cruise. So even for us, we're looking at reusing our future cruise credit, 125%, great. Well, the cruising options, either we don't use the full 125% and it's only valid for your booking of the cruise, you can't use it on the ship for anything, or we're going to have to put extra money in because it doesn't quite take us up to the next class. So it's just something else to consider.
So a lot to think about with these future cruise credits. If you have one, you're probably thinking the same thing. So let us know in the comments what you've decided to do. I'd be very interested in some statistics from the cruise lines on how many people did a cash return, how many people did a future cruise credit. I think that'd be very interesting information to know, but I'm sure they're not going to release that. But if they do, let us know in the comments. So just to be clear on the future cruise credits with Holland America, and to sum this up, if you do have a booking that you paid in full, you will be getting 125% back as a future cruise credit. If you don't have all of if you haven't paid for the entire cruise yet, you will get double your deposit back in future cruise credit. So if you do have some monies that you've put in but you haven't paid the whole thing, you'll get your deposit back in whole as a future cruise credit, actually double as a future cruise credit.
And also, if you do choose to get the cash back, the form has to be completed by September 15th. So you do have a bit of time to do it. We've seen some other cruise lines only give you a 2-week window. You do have about a month and a half. They're letting you know now, or about a month, I guess. So just make sure you get that form completed by September 15th.
So now on to MSC Cruises. So despite 2 international cruise lines already having confirmed cases of COVID-19, these were 2 large carriers who had people who were diagnosed with COVID-19. They, been very popular. I'm sure you heard of them in the news. MSC is still going to prepare to sail.
They've got their first sailing with the MSC Grandiosa on August 16th. It will be a Mediterranean cruise. And then just, a couple weeks after, on August 29th, the MSC Magnifica will also be starting a Mediterranean cruise. So there are countries, Italy and Greece, that have opened up their ports and have said, come, and MSC has said, sure. So that's what we'll be seeing. Now, there are some restrictions on who will be allowed on the cruise, as well as what the cruising will look like. So this is what I thought was pretty interesting as well. If you want to be on MSC's cruise, you have to be from the Schengen area. That would be in Europe. So that includes Austria, Belgium, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Germany, Greece, Malta, and Norway. It's a variety of countries. So
it's not the whole EU, but it is a segment of the EU.
Yeah. So we already know that the Americans, there's a lot of restrictions on them traveling as it is. As Canadians, we actually are able to travel right now, but some countries have a 2-week quarantine. However, it doesn't matter if you go in quarantine for 2 weeks beforehand. MSC has said you have to be from one of these countries. So the website, though, I thought was great in terms of the information, detail. It's very well laid out. There's videos. They're using the EU Healthy Gateway protocol, their guidelines, and I feel that in terms of reducing the risk and keeping people informed, they did a very good job of that. So a couple of things to highlight is the ship will be at reduced capacity. It will only be at 70% capacity. They will be doing temperature checks, and the face masks do need to be worn where social distancing doesn't allow for. So that's pretty much going to be when you're inside the ship moving around, because elevators, hallways, you can't guarantee it. So, you do need to be prepared with that. I know that some people are thinking, I don't want to have to wear a mask and carry a mask around and have that many masks and on and off. And, I'm on vacation. I don't want to be living the mask life. So that is something you want to keep in mind. And they also have made restrictions around the shore excursions as well. So yes, maybe you fit the criteria, you're allowed to travel, you're healthy, you're on the ship, blah, blah. If you want to do a shore excursion, we often like just getting off, exploring the port, what's there, doing a little shopping. We know that a lot of people have shared in our comments below that there are areas that they know they like to go to. Some people like to use shore excursion companies when they get off the ship, or pre-book with different companies before they get on. But MSC has said if you're wanting to do a shore excursion, you need to be doing one of our shore excursions. So that it gives them the opportunity to have a bit of control over things. They've said that they will be ensuring social distancing, masks are being worn, and all the hygiene. They will also know where people have gone and what's gone on with that. But I think that's going to rub a few people the wrong way.
Yeah, a lot of people like to do independent trips, or, just get off and explore on their own. You always see it where people will just walk into the main city or what have you from the ship when you get off. So yeah, I think a lot of people aren't necessarily going to like that they can't just, do what they want. They have to, if they're going to get off, they have to do an MSC excursion. So,
Yeah, I think we'll just have to see what people think with it. I mean, in terms of reducing risk, we're still living during a pandemic, and we're trying to open things up, and for a variety of reasons, people's mental health and economy and everything else. So as things open up, there are going to be restrictions we're seeing on that. And especially with the cruise line, there's a ton of restrictions we're seeing on the cruise line. Some of the things you don't notice, like the new filters, and there are other things like having to wear a face mask and getting your temperature checked multiple times a day. You're going to notice these changes. can
Yeah.
you still go and enjoy yourself and relax a little bit? I think people are going to need to decide that.
Well, and given that they've already had 2 international cruises with COVID-19 outbreaks. That said, there was a story that I read. We'll put the source below if you're interested, as well as the source for all of this information if you're interested in reading those. That in the past, I think it was 1 or 2 weeks, there was 5 cases of COVID-19 found on airplanes from Canada, Air Canada. So, we had said this before, that generally with cruise lines, because you're on them longer, you have more time to incubate on them, the actual number of cases is actually smaller, though, if you trace back the incidents that you have on airplanes, because the airplanes just spread everybody around, right?
So you have a higher chance on the plane than you do on the cruise ship. Yeah.
It's just you don't know till later on the plane because, you get off of it. Whereas like on the cruise, you're on it for a week, you're probably going to get symptoms, and other people are too. So the numbers seem bigger.
Yeah, and I think that's where, depending where you are, our regular lives have all these protocols now to keep people safe and expectations with the face mask, hand washing, social distancing. So it may just become a normal, and it may not seem like right now it's still maybe a bit of a shock for people, but maybe once you get there and you start doing it, you'll still be able to enjoy different scenery at least.
Yeah, it's good to see the new sort of restrictions they're putting in place to try to clamp down on these cases happening. So, hopefully the 2 international COVID cases that they've had so far, and I'm sure domestic ones on cruises, they're sort of identifying what gaps are in protocol and modifying the protocol for it. But everything we've seen, it's still the EU Healthy Gateway that's sort of leading the charge on protocols. So we do have a couple videos on that. We'll put links if you're interested in more details on what's in the EU Healthy Gateway recommendations. And it seems as though most of these cruise lines are actually adopting those and modifying them slightly, which is pretty good. So there you go. That is some of the news from this week that we wanted to recap on. Let us know in the comments what you think. Is this something that you would be doing? Would you be out there cruising? Are you looking forward to getting on one of these MSC cruises and trying these different ports? Or are you, sort of happier that Holland America is canceling until December, keeping things safe, not going to try traveling? A lot of people with lots of different opinions out there. Love to know yours.
So thank you so much for taking the time to watch our video. We really appreciate it and hanging on right till the end. So if you did enjoy our video, please do consider hitting that thumbs up and subscribing. We'd love you to join our little Traveling Flamingo community. So thanks again for watching, and happy travels.